Hi guys, it's Kim from Winter and Sparrow. Welcome back to my channel and I'm so glad you're here. Today I wanted to talk about something very important, and that is weight loss and relationships after gastric sleeve surgery. Today I'm going to focus on one of the first relationships, and that's the relationship with yourself. Now, let's talk like we're friends, like we're sitting across from each other having a cup of coffee or tea. Um, if you've had gastric sleeve or weight loss surgery, or you're thinking about it, and you're overweight, let's talk about how I felt before I had weight loss surgery. Now, up until I was diagnosed with a low thyroid problem, I would say in the 90s, I'd always been thin. My average size was anywhere between a 4 and an 8. It was very easy for me to lose weight, gain weight. You get the idea. I was always thin. And then once I was diagnosed with low thyroid problems, losing weight wasn't as easy. You add into that, I was taking depression medication that had a side effect of weight gain, which made it even harder. So little did I know that in my 30s, I started developing something called insulin resistance syndrome, which basically just means my body doesn't use insulin properly. Made it very hard for me to be on a diet. I was hungry all the time. My blood sugar was going haywire. It just made things hard. And I did have some success on the Atkins diet in the early 2000s, but of course that didn't stick. And then I redid the Atkins diet and I only lost like half the weight. And I got to a point where I sought outside help from a diet place and I lost a little bit of weight. But of course nothing stuck. And then comes 2008 when I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia and multiple sclerosis. Now, the year I was diagnosed was a very miserable year. I spent the majority of it in bed. It was miserable. Um, but that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about, I promise you, this story is leading up to something. We're here to talk about how weight loss has to do with your relationship with yourself. Now, I pretty much was to the point from 2008 on. I vacillated between accepting the fact that I was going to be fat, chunky, overweight, whatever you want to call it, for the rest of my life. And sometimes in between, I was like, oh my God, I can do this, I can lose it. And I'd try something and it wouldn't work and I'd get discouraged and then I'd just give up and I'd be like, okay, I'm just gonna be fat the rest of my life. And that's how it was. And I wish one of my doctors would have recommended a consult with a bariatric doctor long before I came up with the idea, because they pretty much just said, well, you have MS, you have fibro, and you're on these medications that cause weight gain. It's part of it. You're just going to be overweight. Well, that's not true. But let's talk about how that made me feel when someone tells you that you just have to accept the fact that you're going to be overweight. It can lead to depression. It can make you give you a sense of hopelessness. And that's where I started to head. Every time I had to buy a bigger size, of course I wouldn't tell anybody, but it made me feel like crap. Every time I would eat dinner And then an hour later, I'd be hungry again and I'd eat and made me feel like crap. And my self esteem was zero, negative. It just, I felt like crap. Trying not to cry, y'all. I'm not a crier, but when I talk about this, I feel like I want to cry. And when you have no self esteem, you accept some things that you shouldn't. In other words, you allow sometimes other people to treat you like crap because you feel like you don't deserve better. Well, even though I didn't have self esteem, I've always had self confidence and a sense of self worth. Now, those things are all different than self esteem. Self worth means that you know that you're a human and you deserve love and kindness. Self confidence means you can get stuff done, you can do it. And I had those things. Self esteem is feeling like you're worth something. In other words, I feel good about my body. I feel good about how I present myself. I feel good inside. I didn't have any of that. So, self esteem was a big no. I didn't have any. So now I have, at this point in time, at the before surgery, I have MS, I have fibro, and I'm overweight and I'm only gaining weight. Now, I didn't feel attractive, I didn't feel beautiful. Oftentimes I felt invisible. If you're overweight, you may feel like this, or you may feel like people are picking on you when you walk into a room. You may feel self-conscious when you're out in public or anything. When you're carrying extra weight and you're not happy with that extra weight, it just makes you miserable. And it's almost like you hate yourself for all of it, which is not healthy. You hate yourself for overeating. You hate yourself for failing on the diet. You hate yourself when you have to buy bigger clothes. You hate yourself when your spouse or significant other makes a comment like, "Are you putting on a little weight there?" or a friend does, or all of those things you absorb inside. And it can turn into depression. And I had some of that. Now, here's where things change. You change. After my gastric sleeve surgery, once I started losing weight, okay, losing weight in itself is an amazing feeling. It makes you feel more confident. It also gets you noticed. To the people who knew you before when you were fat, they're like, "Oh, wow, you look great." Now, all of a sudden, you're getting positive reinforcement from people that maybe you didn't get before. And people saying to you, "Oh, you look great," is maybe a weird feeling to you. And of course, it's going to affect your self esteem. You're going to start to feel better about yourself. Now, as you realize that you have this wonderful tool that helps you lose weight, you're going to become more self confident. Your self worth is going to increase. You're going to find that you're not going to put up with people's crap before, like you may have, because you feel better about yourself. Now, one of the things that happens after gastric sleeve and when you get thinner is a lot of times relationships change. They say there's a high rate of divorce and breakups after gastric sleeve surgery because not only does your physical self change, but your mental and psychological self changes too. and what you find that you're not putting up, you're not going to put up with things that you may have put up with before. You may find you deserve better. But when I say your relationship with yourself changes, is it's kind of sad to think that losing weight is what it takes for us to have self-esteem or give us self-esteem, but for some of us, it is what it is. In other words, for instance, the body positivity movement. Now, I'm not going to knock it either way. Now, if you can be a size 16 or 18 and you're happy, you're healthy, and you're comfortable that in that size, that's great. You know, that's, I'm not gonna dictate how anybody lives their lives. But if you're like how I was, a size 18 and growing, and you're uncomfortable and you hated it and you wanted to do something about it, it's okay to do something about it, especially if it's affecting your self-esteem, it's affecting your health, it's affecting your mental health. And don't let anybody tell you that being fat isn't also a mental health issue. It is, especially if you're fat not by choice. Now, of course, there's, people who are chronic overeaters, and that also can be a mental health condition. But one thing I want to make clear is if you're unhappy with your body, your weight, and you want to do something about it, you want to be healthier, make sure that you are having gastric sleeve surgery for yourself. In other words, don't do it because your husband calls you fat. Don't do it because your family is pressuring you to lose weight. Don't do it because all your friends are skinny. Make sure the reason you're having gastric sleeve surgery or weight loss surgery is for yourself. If you do it for other people, you're going to fail, especially if those people leave or you find that they're not happy with the new skinny. No, those are all the wrong reasons. That's why the relationship you have with yourself is very important. You need to examine, okay, why am I having, or why do I want to have gastric sleeve surgery? And there was a point where I was sure that my husband and I were going to get a divorce, because he knew me when I was thin, and the more weight I put on, sometimes he would make comments. Now, I don't want anybody to say, oh, why did you put up with that? Men are strange. Sometimes they don't know how to say things properly. Like, hey, I notice you're putting on a few pounds. Would you like, me to do X, Y, Z or whatever? Every now and then I'd get a snarky comment. And those snarky comments just bash my self-esteem in. And I knew, like I said, my self-worth was high. I knew that I deserved better. And if I was going to do anything, it was not going to be because of a man. It's going to be because of me, because I wanted to do it. So, and there was some times where I would be spiteful if, I don't know, let's say somebody said something about, I don't know, oh, you look like you put on a few pounds. Maybe I'd go and grab a chocolate bar and eat it in front of them. Because what gives you the right to dictate my weight? It pisses me off. Like, I cannot stand when other people talk about other people's weight. Like, how's that any of your business? If it's your doctor, that's something different, but don't talk about, people's weight. It's just not right. So I had to get right in my head. I had to be ready to go on the journey of weight loss surgery. It wasn't because my husband wanted me to lose weight, or my family, or my doctors, because the journey of gastric sleeve is not easy. So you have to be right with yourself. Do I really want to be healthy? Am I willing to give up certain foods? Am I willing to take the vitamins for life? Am I willing to exercise and eat healthier? Make sure your answer is yes, and make sure the reason that you're doing it is for you, nobody else. Now, it would be a lie for me to say that my weight loss has changed my relationships with people, has not changed my relationships with people, because it has. Being skinny has changed my relationships with people, including my husband. Now I'm going to save that for another video. We're going to talk about weight loss and significant others. But today, I just wanted to stress the importance of yourself in the decision-making process. If you're going to go on this journey, make sure you're doing it for the right reasons. Make sure that you're doing it because you want to do it. So those are just some things that were on my heart that I felt like I needed to get out, because it's very important. And it reminded me of totally random thought here, but hey, I'll just share it with you guys. A lot of times before you have weight loss surgery, some insurances require a psychiatric evaluation, and I was no exception. I had to have that. And one of the questions they ask is, what happens if you don't lose all the weight you want? Well, you also have to ask yourself that. What if you're setting your expectations too high and you don't lose all your weight? Are you okay with that? Well, you should be okay with that. Otherwise, you might not want to have the surgery. But for instance, I haven't lost all the weight that I have wanted to. I'm 10 pounds away from my weight loss goal, and the scale's been stuck for months. And my doctor suggested that my body might be at a set point, and I just kind of have to wait it out. But I'm okay with that, because I'm still thinner, because I'm still healthier, because I'm eating healthier. I feel better, and I did this for me, and that's the most important thing, is this journey is for me. So if you're going to have weight loss surgery, please, please, please make sure that you, yourself, and you is number one in the journey, not other people pressuring you. And like I said, I'm random, but I wanted to show you, because my sizes do change, I wanted to show you let's see, this is maybe my $6 outfit. I got this at Goodwill. Because my sizes change so much, even though I'm not losing weight, it's like my abdomen, I don't know what's going on, but I shop at Goodwill because I'm not going to buy a whole bunch of new clothes and then they don't fit me. But this sweater, let's see if you can see it. This sweater I got, it is an Ann Taylor. I got this. It was on sale for like $2. And let me show you my pants. These are a size 6. Oops, screen disappeared. These pants. If you're familiar with the brand Not Your Daughter's Jeans, these jeans are not your daughter's jeans. They retail for like $100 or more, but I got them for like $2.99 at Goodwill, and they were like brand new. So yeah, this is my cheap outfit, and I'm loving it, because why should I spend more money on clothes when my sizes have been changing. But yeah, good place to shop. And if you have clothes that you need to get rid of, make sure you check the blog for one of our popular posts on how to make money off of your old clothes. So if you want me to make the next video in this series, which is where I talk about weight loss surgery or gastric sleeve surgery and the relationship with your significant other, why don't you give this video 20 thumbs up? I decided that I'm probably going to stop making gastric sleeve videos, new ones, if more people don't start watching them, or at least giving them a thumbs up or subscribing, because I could be doing, I don't know, I don't want to make something, spend my time making something and nobody's watching it or reacting to it. So if you're not already subscribed, and if you want me to make the next video, which is gastric sleeve surgery and relationship with your significant other, if you want me to make that, give this a thumbs up. When we get to 20, I will start on the next video. So I'm so happy you guys are here. So thanks for watching. Bye.